Up, bro?
Chilling. How you holding up tonight?
Man, right now it's 5:15, so it ain't even nighttime yet to keep it real.
You said what?
It's not even nighttime yet. It's 5:15, but I'm not bad, man. Shit,
Oh, where you at?
I'm in LA.
Oh, shit. I was going to say, yeah, it's like 8 o'clock here.
Yup, I'm in LA. So where are you at, bro? You're in New York, I assume.
No, I'm in Jersey.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Man,
Garden State. What the fuck? I'm tripping.
yeah, RichZ, you know what I'm saying? How you doing, though? I seen,
Yeah,
I
New
found you.
Jersey.
Like, I be seeing you to be doing, like, mad freestyles and shit like that.
Yeah, man, that's kind of how I got started with music and everything, was just kind of freestyling around, fucking around with people. But shit, yeah, now I'm signed to Juicy J, for those of you who don't know. My name's RichZ. I'm signed to Juicy J's, Mo Faces. And yeah, man, I'm 21 years old.
Yeah, how'd you get signed by Juicy J? How'd that end up happening?
So this was about 2 years ago. I was just kind of getting into my rhythm of dropping freestyles and kind of fucking with social media, because I'm not really a social media kind of guy. I don't really love social media too much. But, you know, I was posting my freestyles, and WorldStar picked up on a couple of them just organically through different shit that I spoke about. I did one about Nipsey Hussle. I did one about Meek Mill when he went to jail. I spoke on that. And so WorldStar naturally, just based on the topics that I would speak about, they would pick up on that shit and then post it on their feed. And then, you know, I mean, I'm exposed to a whole different, you know, lane of people, part of which was Juicy J. Juicy J found me through WorldStar, and then he followed my page. And then after, you know, a little while of talking back and forth, I flew out to meet Juicy. We did a song together. And that was it, man. I signed with him within days of doing a song with him.
Yeah, you did. Where's Khalifa too, right?
Yeah, so this was actually another song that I had done with Jay like years ago that didn't get as much exposure. But I do have a song out now with Wiz Khalifa and Juicy J on it called "Kicked Back." It's on all platforms for those who are interested in checking that shit out.
Word. And, like, who were some of the people that inspired you with the freestyles? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm an avid Big L fan. And a lot of people, when they hear my freestyles, they think that I'm a bigger fan of someone like Eminem or, you know, like a white rapper who spits the same way that I kind of spit. But I'm more influenced by, like, Big L. I really like Dave East for like, current talent. You know what I mean? For some of the newer cats, I really like Dave East. Dude is super talented. Dude can freestyle for days. You know, and even, like, let me make it clear. I'm not hating on Eminem at all. Dude is one of the best freestylers / rappers of all time. But for me personally, my own taste, I'm more of like a Big L, New York 90s gritty kind of, like, that's my shit, man. So that's where my freestyle inspiration comes from. But I have a lot of inspiration from music as well, just you know, street shit.
what are some of those influences?
I'm big on Macklemore, man. Like, that was one of my favorite artists when I was coming up, like, still coming up, but, you know, that's one of my favorite artists to personally speak on was Macklemore, man. And Kid Cudi's huge. Like, if you in my age group are, like, you know, 23 or younger, you idolize Kid Cudi. I don't want to hear it. It's just not true if you say you don't. Like, you idolize that dude to a certain level. And mostly because most of us started smoking weed at the same time that we started listening to that dude, so it holds, like, a special connection for us. At least us stoners, anyway.
Yeah, I dig it. And you dropped the project a few months ago, right? Roommates?
Yeah, it was late 2019, right before 2020 hit. I dropped the project, and I'm about to drop some more shit very soon. But I have a project out on all platforms right now called Roommates, and yeah, it's doing really well, man. I'm very grateful for all the fans and everybody who's been streaming that shit, because it's done really, really well for me. So. Go check out Roommates if you just heard about me and you haven't checked that shit out yet. Really dope project. We got Freddie Gibbs on there. We got Juicy J on there. We got Wiz Khalifa on there. We got Syra on there. We got a bunch of big artists who, you know, didn't have to show me love and hop on my shit, but they did. So it's a really well put together project. So yeah, man, that's out right now. And I got a lot more shit coming. I think I'm gonna drop a single probably within the next 2 weeks or so. Which will lead into another little project, another little EP that I got going right now. But that's not giving away enough information for everybody to get excited, I know.
What was the concept going into it?
Of this project or the last project?
Roommates.
So the project Roommates was really kind of like it was like 6 different songs that had nothing to do with one another. Like the song that I did with Freddie Gibbs was the polar opposite of the song that I did with Juicy J and Wiz Khalifa. And the song that I did with Moxus was the polar, you know what I mean? Like there were no songs on that project where we're supposed to be on the same project. And that's why I kind of did it that way, was because it caught everybody off guard to go from, you know, some crazy lyrical shit with Freddie on it to some really soft shit that you could probably hear on like a chill Spotify playlist type shit. So people didn't really expect that from me, especially as somebody who had just been freestyling forever and not really like dropping music. This was my first real project. So I popped out with some crazy features and some really good music, man. And I think that it spoke for itself. So that was the concept for it going into it, was just kind of like, I'm not even supposed to be here. I might as well do some shit that's going to make everybody be like, damn, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, why would you choose to drop it in this certain way when you could have done 6 different singles that all had their own, you know, their own style to them? But I said, fuck it, man. I'm just that kind of guy. Like, I'd rather have people look at me weird.
Or is there you have a different process, like when you're making a song and doing a freestyle?
Yeah, man, for sure. Like, definitely. I'm so picky about when I make my music, man. Like, that's why it takes me so fucking long. It's because I just get so frustrated. Like, with a freestyle, I could just do it. It's just done. It's like it takes me however long to get in the car and go do that shit and then post that shit on Instagram. It's real simple. But when you have other people involved in your music that you don't necessarily have, like I don't mix and master my own stuff. I don't make my own beats. I'm not at that level of artistic talent yet to be able to do that shit. So I have to rely on people to have the same vision as me and not fuck up my music, if that makes sense. So it takes me a lot longer to make real music because it's not all in my hands. Like it is, I could choose who my music goes to mix, but you know, they might take 2 weeks to get that shit back to me, and then I might not even like it and need to keep going with a process of it. So it definitely.
Like, what happens?
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, they take very different amounts of time, man. My freestyles, I could bust out 6 in a day if I really set my mind to it, but I don't think I've ever recorded 6 quality songs in a day, like, ever.
And like, so what happens? Some like the pros and cons of like this quarantine, as far as being creative and pushing the music still.
For me, like, there's not as many positives as there are for some of the other artists who like necessarily just dropped music and they're letting their streams run up and everything. I'm kind of more in a position where I'm using it as time to reflect on the things that I've done, either right or wrong, with my last music, and just kind of used it as time where the average viewer is on their phone so much more that I can kind of have a little more leeway with my freestyles. When I post a freestyle, that shit gonna pop because there's so many more people on their phones. So that's probably the one benefit to this shit for me, is that social media wise, I've gained a lot of followers since quarantine has started. And you know, I've put out an okay amount of content, nothing crazy, but it's been a boost in algorithm for all of the artists. I know a lot of artists that are listening to this right now can agree. A lot more people on their phones, but it's hard, man. I can't get to the fucking studio. Can't do it. It's you know what I mean? Like it's difficult, man. It's either record at home or don't record.
Yeah, word. How do you select the beat you're gonna freestyle on?
Say it again, bro.
How do you select the beat you freestyle on?
That's a really good question, and it's a time-consuming process, man. There are some days where I'll go through 400 or 500 YouTube beats, and just off the vibe. Like, I'm not really one of those guys that I'm not going to spend my money on a beat that I use once and don't monetize it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense to buy exclusive beats for a beat that I'm going to freestyle to and then not put out a real song to as well. So most of them, I would say 75% or more, are straight from YouTube. And you know, I've become friends with some of these YouTube producers and different people who make beats for me for these freestyles, but I really select them randomly, man. It sucks. That's like the shittiest part of my process, is trying to find the beats for the freestyle. Like, I could rap to anything, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be what my fan base wants to hear, which is what I'm kind of chasing.
Word. And if now somebody was to go watch one of your freestyles, like they just found out about you, which one would you point them towards?
Which one would I put them towards?
Yeah, like for the first
time
across you.
So I would say my last freestyle, the one, if you go on my page right now, if you look at the last freestyle with me wearing a beanie, and it's very recent, within the past 2 weeks or so, That's probably one of my favorite because it's my most vulnerable, and it's where I talk about the most shit that's going on in my life, opposed to, you know, flexing on motherfuckers for hard bars and lyricism and improving who I am, big dog status type shit. Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. There's a whole side of the culture and a whole side of the art that represents that. But for me as an artist, my favorite that I would sway my fans and new viewers to would be the stuff that they could really get to know me as. Like, if you go listen to that last freestyle, you really get to know me, RichZ. And that might be the deciding factor if you want to stream my music or not. So fuck it. If you like hard freestyles, you'll find them on there. But my recommendation is just the last one that I did is really, really, it spoke to a lot of people, man. You can go through the comments, a couple thousand comments of people saying that it really did shit for them. So I love that shit, man. I think that's probably my best one, really.
Word. And before I let you get out of here, like, what should people like be looking forward to coming out from you?
Man, you know, I think everybody has their moment of saying, oh, 2020 is my year. This is going to be my year. This is going to be my year. I don't know when the fuck the year of RichZ is going to be. It might take me, you know, 2 or 3 more years to build up to that peak of when, you know, they're looking at me. The whole world is looking at me. I really can't predict what the future holds for me, but I do know that every time I drop music, it's going to get better and better. That's all I can. That's the only standard I can hold myself to, and that's the only truth that I could bring to it other than, you know, what I can't control. God's got the rest figured out already, so I got to just keep moving.
Word. And so where can everybody find you? You're saying where can stream you at?
All platforms, man. RichZ, exactly how you see my name spelled. You can literally listen to my music on SoundCloud. You can listen to my music on Spotify. You can find me on Tidal. Every single platform that you could think of, I'm on it. So you can find me there. My Instagram is whoisRichZ. Shout out Mo Faces. That's my label. Shout out Juicy J. And shout out Rich, man. I appreciate you for having me on here, bro.
I appreciate it, my guy. I'm going to holler at you later.
All right, for sure.